wonderful humans. How are we today? I wanted to share a little something interesting that's coming through in my meditations recently. So, I've been experiencing a lot of stillness and just calm and peaceful energy in the meditations. I'm not having a lot of processing coming through, just a little here and there, little bits and pieces of myself kind of just coming home and being integrated. But for the most part, it's just stillness. It's really becoming the space and being in this now moment. And what I've realized, especially today, was how the ego mind wants to create distractions, wants to create chaos and drama and busyness because she's just not used to such stillness for like an hour and 15 minutes to just sit still and be in my own energy and in my own heart space and to allow for movement of whatever wants to come through. And so in the stillness, I really don't even have that much like creativity coming through. I'm not having any like earth shattering revelations. I'm just here and noticing, right? And this is something that happens when I spend a lot of time in meditation and when I do it for like periods of time, like I'm consistent with it, because that has been something that, in the past I haven't been particularly consistent. And though I've meditated most daily, certainly wasn't for an hour and 15 minutes. And it would just be like here and there and like allowing things to show up as they do and then sitting with it. But with this deeper level of intention to make this a daily practice, the more I get into it, gosh, I'm going to say like 6 weeks into this now. And this is the time when shit starts to get fucking weird, right? Where I come more into that stillness where there's just been a lot of processing and now I'm just here. I'm the space. I'm becoming the now moment. And the ego's like, what are we doing? What's going on right now? Shouldn't we be doing something? Like, I've got to do this thing, got to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I hear you, girl. Like, yeah, okay, but we're going to just sit here for now. And so I'm very aware and I observe. And there's times where I will like cater to the impulse. And I'm also aware of that, and no judgment to it, right? Like, we do it. Um, I was noticing today, particularly, that I was having a lot of discomfort in my physical body trying to stay comfortable in a seated position. And so, like, I was doing a lot of shifting and kind of squirming. And I'm like, and I'm also observing. So I'm like, like, I see you. Yeah. Yeah. It must be hard to really sit still for that length of time. And so, I do allow myself the movement to adjust because, there are certain joints and things that I want to make sure I'm taking pressure off of. So I hold space for both, right? Ensuring that I'm comfortable and not like fucking injuring myself by like sitting in this one position the whole time, but also holding space for the fact that my ego's really needing to do something. She's like trying to stay busy and relevant, so to speak. She wants to create a little bit of chaos, a little drama, find something to do, keep herself occupied. And I just was here to be the space for that to happen today. And how beautiful it is to do that and to know like that's okay. It's normal fucking function of that part of myself. I don't have to judge it. I don't have to try and fix it. I don't have to try and even like stop myself from doing things like shifting and adjusting. All I need to do is be here and be aware and present and observe all of that which is coming through. And something that I'm really noticing is that these meditations that I'm doing in the morning are really becoming a primer for my day. I receive a lot of information. I feel very connected most days. And these are really just a moment in time for me to connect with my own energy and to just be the stillness. Like, what is wrong with just being still? Like, it's an hour and 15 minutes. It's not even like, it's not half my day. It's just like one portion, like 1/10 of my day or whatever, 1/9 of my day. And I deserve that. I deserve to be in the stillness and the peace of myself and really not, um, you know, allow that ego mind to take over and like do all the things. I observe her, I let her like have her moments, but I'm just there being the space. I'm seeing like the old stories of like just moments and I'm like feeling the discomfort. And I'm just like, like I see you. Wow, yeah, that is uncomfortable, isn't it? And able to be there and support myself in all these different ways. I had a few things show up even today, I mean, it's mostly stillness, but of course, there's always thoughts running through our head. But I feel more of the observant role coming in, where I'm really feeling that separation of the thoughts process versus just being. The mind is always running, the mind is always active, and we don't have to judge it or try and stop it or change it. We're just here to be with it, because that really is part of us too. Like, that's a part of us, and we have lots of parts, and coming into the observer role is a really beautiful thing. And also, I just want to know, we don't want to also like take that separation to the extreme and then start like, that's where I feel judgment comes in, and then it's like, well, that part's bad, or this is bad, or I should be doing something differently. No, everything is beautiful and perfect as it is. We are here to observe and reflect and refine and move forward and let go and release and live this beautiful, amazing life in the now, which is where the infinite number of possibilities exist for us, is right now. I don't have to know the answers to anything. I've had, quite a few questions. I mean, even this morning, I was really thinking just a little bit about, where am I going to move next? I'm feeling a little restless energy with that, which now that I think makes sense, that I was feeling physically restless too, having that energy. I was also thinking about kind of just like a little dig my mom made to me like last weekend. We were having a conversation about thighs touching, totally, I know, random fucking thing. And she's like, well, I don't know. And I was like, I don't like to wear skirts and dresses a lot when I'm walking around because my fucking legs chafe. And she's like, well, I don't know why. Like, mine don't do that. And I'm like, so we were going back and forth about this. And then finally I was like, I don't know. I guess I have fat fucking thighs, mother. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And so, like, it really brought me down onto myself. And I'm like, so aware of that. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, that was very fascinating, that the way for my ego, who was getting anxious in that conversation, to get out was just to like self deprecate and fucking end it from a place of like tenseness. And so that kind of came up today. And I just like really extended forgiveness to myself and was like, yeah, you were really like doing the best that you could. And now that I know how that feels, like, I get to decide to respond differently in the future, because really it's of no consequence if my fucking thighs are touching, or if I don't want to wear a dress, and I don't owe anyone a fucking explanation. Right. And then another thing that came up was, I just connected to a memory that came up for me a couple days ago. Me, age 19, leaving college. It was very conservative Christian college, and I just was like brought back to the memory of me like failing my one of my exams on the Old Testament. Yes, it was some fucking ridiculous shit. Um, and then I just was like, I was done. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I couldn't give two shits less about this. I was there to study music. I was acing all the music, fucking failing all of the Bible classes, and doing fine in like the general ed. But I just remember being in my room. I just started fucking like packing shit and throwing shit away. And I was like, I am done with this. I'm ready to go and like move on and live my life now. And so part of the exercise that I was doing the other day with this memory was going back to tell myself that I am self assured. And what was really beautiful is that in that moment, I knew that I was making the right decision, even though there was like judgment and, people looking at me like I had three fucking heads, not understanding the choice. Like, I knew that I was making the right choice. And so for me to come back as the adult that I am today, to go back to myself and just remind me that I am self assured, and really integrating it into that memory, because when we do that, we can carry that shit forward. So I'm now carrying the self assurance from age 19 all the way forward. And I feel how that is integrating for me on a very deep level. And so I'm having all of these things going on in the meditation. And it's on this like very quiet and like deep level. Like, I am such in observer mode. Like, it sounds like there's a lot going on as I say it to you, but there was very much the stillness and peace and calm energy that I was talking about at the beginning of this there. And this was just sort of moving through me, just like very flowing, and, not a lot of resistance. I'm just like, yeah, I see you. I feel it. Like, and letting it move through. Not even like, I had a few tears trickle down in today's meditation, but not a lot. I mean, there's times where I'm just fucking crying, but everything comes and everything ebbs and flows, and everything is a season, right? And so I'm kind of shifting into this place of stillness, and the ego's like, I don't know what to do with this. And I'm like, great, like, we have nothing to do other than to just be here now. So know that if you're in a place of stillness, it's beautiful and perfect just as you are. If you're in a place of fucking processing and removing and releasing, that is beautiful. If you're feeling the discomfort and sitting with yourself, that's beautiful too. These are all beautiful things. Become aware, become the observer, sit in the seat of awareness and see what shows up for you. All right, I love you lots, and I'll catch you on the flip side.